Matthew chapter 23. Then Jesus spoke to the crowds and to his disciples. The scribes and the Pharisees, he said, sit on the seat of Moses. So you have to do whatever they tell you and keep it, but don't do the things that they do. You see, they talk, but they don't do. They tie up heavy bundles that are difficult to carry and they dump them on people's shoulders, but they themselves aren't prepared to lift a little finger to move them. Everything they do is for show, to be seen by people. Yes, they make their prayer boxes large and their prayer tassels long, and they love the chief places at dinners, the main seats in the synagogues, the greetings in the marketplaces, and having people call them rabbi. But you mustn't be called rabbi. You have one teacher, and you are all one family. You shouldn't call anyone father on earth, because you have one Father in heaven. Nor should you be called teacher, because you have one teacher, the Messiah. The greatest among you should be your servant. People who make themselves great will be humbled, and people who humble themselves will become great. Woe betide you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites, Jesus continued. You lock up the kingdom of heaven in front of people's faces. You don't go in yourselves, and when other people try to enter, you stop them. Woe betide you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You cross sea and land to make one single Gentile take up Judaism, and when that happens, you make the convert twice as much a son of hell as you are yourselves. Woe to you, blind guides! This is what you say. If anyone swears by the temple, it's nothing. But if anyone swears by the gold in the temple, the oath is valid. How crazy and blind can you get? Which is greater, the gold or the temple that makes the gold sacred? And you say, if anyone swears by the altar, it's nothing, but if anyone swears by the gift on it, the oath is valid. How completely blind you are! Which is greater, the gift or the altar that makes the gift sacred? So whoever swears by the altar swears by it and by everything on it, and whoever swears by the temple swears by it and by the one who lives in it. And whoever swears by the temple swears by it and by the one who lives in it. And whoever swears by heaven swears by the throne of God and the one who sits on it. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites, Jesus went on. You tithe mint and dill and cumin, and you omit serious matters of the law like justice, mercy, and loyalty. You should have done these without neglecting the others. You are blind guides. You waste your time filtering out a gnat, but you gulp down a camel. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You scrub the outside of the cup and the dish, but the inside is full of extortion and moral weakness. You blind Pharisee, first make the inside of the cup clean, then the outside will be clean as well. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You're like whitewashed graves, which look very fine on the outside, but inside they are full of the bones of the dead and uncleanness of every kind. This is just like you. On the outside you appear to be virtuous and law-abiding, but inside you're full of hypocrisy and lawlessness. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You build the tombs of the prophets, and you decorate the memorials of the righteous. And you say, if we lived in the days of our ancestors, we wouldn't have gone along with them in killing the prophets. But you testify against yourself that you are the children of the people who murdered the prophets. So go ahead, complete the work your ancestors began. You snakes, you nest of vipers, how can you escape the judgment of hell? Because of all this, Jesus concluded, I'm sending you prophets, wise men, scribes. Some of them you will kill and crucify. Some of them you will whip in your synagogues. You will even chase them from town to town. That's how all the righteous blood that's been shed on the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel to the blood of Zechariah the son of Berechiah, you murdered him between the sanctuary and the altar. All this will come upon you. I'm telling you the complete truth. It will all come upon this generation. Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, killing the prophets and stoning those who are sent to you. How often I long to gather up your children, the way a hen gathers up her brood under her wings, and you didn't want me to. Now see here, your house is abandoned by God. It's a ruin. Yes, I tell you, you won't see me again from now on until you say, God's blessing on the coming one, the one who comes in the Lord's own name. This is the word of the Lord.